Um, what I want to share is that many hands make light work, and I think the reason I share that is because I think the beautiful aspect of the Grand Avenue Club was that everyone had different gifts to share, and I think really what I found very inspiring was um, that Rachel Foreman, the executive director, um, she's no longer executive director, but at the time she was, and she really inspired me because she told me in later years that she had um, been inspired by Dorothy Day, who was now passed away, but has written several books and lived among the poor for many years, and found that the poor taught her very much, and so it's very challenging to do that because it was not easy to live with the poor, and obviously in living with the poor, she became poor, and she said she had committed every sin known to man before she became Catholic. So then, in becoming Catholic, she grew in holiness, and I think what she said was that um, I think of another author named Father Greg Boyle who said the poor evangelized him, and I think that really they changed his heart. I think that was very meaningful. Um, so I wanted to share that and share that those three individuals really inspired me. Father Greg Boyle, who founded Homeboy Industries, the largest gang intervention program in the world. Um, Dorothy Day, who founded the Catholic Worker Movement, which has 148 communities uh, throughout the United States and serves the poor and the homeless by feeding them and clothing them and providing for them. And obviously Rachel Foreman, who founded Grand Avenue Club and served thousands of individuals in doing that. So those three individuals really inspired me and really helped me form to who I am. Yes, I have a disability, but I am not my disability. I have gifts that I can share with the world and do that, and I do that, and that's very helpful. Um, One of my dreams early uh, in my recovery from disability was to become an executive director of an organization similar to the Grand Avenue Club. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and yet I still admire executive directors. I think they have a very challenging role, and I think that they serve a very challenging population, and in doing so, they have they have three roles: um, administration, um, working directly with the population, and fundraising. And of the three, I think fundraising is the most challenging. I think fundraising is very challenging because asking for money is never an easy thing to do. So um, that's I find very challenging. But I was able to do it myself because I worked for an organization called Liturgical Publications for just about 2 years, and in doing so, I raised money through this organization. Not raised, but I earned money for this organization, and enjoyed doing that. So So I think, when you go into any position, whether it's fundraising or working for an organization like liturgical publications, you always have to ask yourself, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? And I think that's very, very critical question to ask. So my why for going to the Grand Avenue Club for 4 years averaged about 20 hours a week. Certainly there was ebbs and flows. Sometimes I was much more active, sometimes I was not so active, but that was an average that I did over that 4 years. And was to serve the poor. I found a lot of meaning doing that. And obviously, the poor often have disabilities. And so I was able to work with my fellow the poor and the people with disabilities, and found a lot of meaning in doing that. I find that the poor taught me a lot. They taught me that even though they didn't have a lot materially, they had a lot of love in their hearts, and they gave from that. They gave freely, and that was very good. That was very rewarding. So, very grateful for that experience. One person I didn't get along with at the organization, who I won't name, she and I really were like oil and water. We both had similar ideals in that we found a lot of meaning in serving the Grand Avenue Club, but unfortunately, we clashed a lot. And I ended up leaving the organization after the 4 years because of that person. And so, I find that there's an old biblical phrase that says you must love your enemies, and I think that's one challenge I had faced with this person. And so I found that was very challenging. So I do have reconnected with this person and found she said to me she wanted to be friends, and I found that we can be friends, and that's important. So we overcame our difficulties and no longer have this, no longer feel this resentment towards her. So very grateful that relationship was mended. I would say that the poor teach us a number of things. They teach us that one doesn't need money to be a blessing to another. My sister and I would talk about this, and she is a very wise person, and she's blessed me a lot over the years. And she said that you don't need money to bless another person, and that's very true. Love doesn't require a check, isn't only expressed by giving a check. And sometimes the most meaningful act of service, most meaningful act of love, is direct service to the poor, to other people. And everyone's poor in some way. Some of the richest people I know are poor because they're lonely, and they often fill their hearts with work so that they can avoid loneliness. So I find that that could be very challenging. But work does give many benefits, and one of the benefits this rich person that I speak of is he's able to bless his neighbor with friendship and income, and that's very, very meaningful to him, and that's very good. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Emily, can you sign us off?
All right, hold on here. Thank you, Neil, for all of the good information. And insight. Again, we are here every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Central, and at 4 o'clock with Blue Collar Crypto with Tim Torosian. If you're interested in being a guest, please let us know. And tune into our social media, then Facebook, YouTube, and so on. And until next week, hope you have a safe and productive week and to stay happy.
Thanks so much, Emily.